at yet another video by Lately Mrs. C. If you're a returning subscriber, hello and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome to Royalty. So a couple of weeks back, I asked you guys to ask me any questions that you might have, and I promised to respond truthfully and honestly in celebration of us reaching 500 subscribers, and you guys came through. So today's video is that video where I'll be responding to your questions, but I'm not going to be that boring person who just sits and talks and talks and talks. No, we are going to be responding to your questions while we cook. And I am already cooking dinner. I've already started on dinner because I have load shedding at 5. Actually, I think I have only 59 minutes left until load shedding, so I need to be fast about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to include sadza in this video, but for now I need to cook my relish, which is beef stew. For the stew element, I'm going to add in some cabbage into the beef. It's my favorite ever since I've been a little girl, especially with fatty meat. It's my favorite. I think it's a favorite in most Zimbabwean homes, actually. Correct me in the comment section if I am wrong. So that we speed up this process, let me just start with the first question. I have all your questions here in my phone. I have screenshotted all your questions. So let's start with Tandi Effect. Thank you so much for your question, Tandi. And she says, well done, Ma. What's been your biggest takeaway since starting your channels? Okay, thank you so much for this question, Tandi. So I feel like my biggest takeaway since starting my channel has been patience is definitely a virtue when you want to go into content creation. Patience in the sense that you are not going to blow up overnight. You are not going to get subscribers, like you're not going to hit 1K overnight. It's going to take a lot of time for you to reach that amount of subscribers. And if you are not patient, that means you are going to get frustrated and you are going to delete your channel. Okay, so as I always say, I once had a YouTube channel which was called Valeria Melody, right? But it took me a lot of time to reach 100 subscribers. And I was so frustrated to the point that I deleted that channel. And coming back to YouTube, I came back knowing that I should enjoy my time being on YouTube. I should stop looking at the numbers, because if I start doing that, then I'm going nowhere. In no time, I'll start looking at the numbers and I'll start getting frustrated. I'll start comparing myself and all that. So that is one big takeaway that I have since starting my YouTube channel. The same applies with my Instagram, because I also posed this question for Instagram as well. I also posed the Ask Me a Question on Instagram as well, and I think, Tandy, you also meant for Instagram as well when you said channels. So in terms of Instagram, I've always dreaded Instagram. I've never been a person who was free enough to want to explore the Instagram space, because I always believe that Instagram is so toxic and it has people who are so entitled, who feel like they have a say on your life, or you have to have a certain life, a certain lifestyle for you to have many followers on Instagram. But when I decided to change to homemaking, to actually do what I am passionate about, what I am happy about, despite my background, despite my life not being aesthetically pleasing, I realized people actually love that side. To say there are people who don't post lives that are aesthetically pleasing, and they will welcome you. So you just have to present your true self, and people will like you for who you are. You get followers for who you are, and that is what I have realized. So that is what I have taken away from my channels, from my Instagram page, and from my YouTube. And also the other thing that I've taken away from YouTube is consistency pays. Right now I have a loyal community that is like following me, liking my content for the sake of me, not because they are looking for a flashy lifestyle or a fancy life or anything like that, because they like my content, because it motivates them to become better homemakers. And most of my subscribers are fairly new wives starting their own homes. So I'm motivating the right kind of caliber, if you understand what I'm saying. So those have been my takeaways ever since I started this YouTube channel and my Instagram homemaking channel. So if you're not following me on Instagram, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and follow me. It's Lately_Mrs. C_. That's how you find me on Instagram. So let's move on to the next question. I am almost done chopping up my cabbage, which I want to add into my pot for it to cook. So I prefer my cabbage to be like well cooked, like to be cooked through almost brown kind of cabbage. So that is what I am hoping for. So I want it to give it time to cook. So for my tomatoes, you usually know that lately Mrs. C always blends the tomatoes, but for the sake of this kind of a dish that I'm making, I'm not going to blend my tomatoes because I need them to like thoroughly color my cabbage. So I'm just going to chop them up, and we're going to do that now before I go on to the next question. So by the way, we are having this glass of Drosthof. So if I by any chance get tipsy in the middle of this video, guys, you have to forgive me for that. Anyways, let me take up some tomatoes so that we go on to the next question. And for the next question, we are responding to some questions that came from Rumbi. Shout out to you. So what some of you guys did was send me a couple of questions in one go. So I'm going to respond to those questions in one go, just as that. So yeah, the next question comes from Rumbi. She says, her first question is, how much do you spend on groceries for the month? Do you think you could do a challenge where you assign yourself a small amount of groceries and stick with that amount for the month? And if groceries run out, you make what you can with whatever ingredients you have. So my answer for the first question is, we usually spend about 2.5 to 3.5 thousand rands on groceries. That includes everything from food, groceries, to toiletries, to my son's diapers and everything. So yeah, it's all included in that, and also drinks as well are included in the groceries. So that's how much we spend per month on groceries. Then her second question was, do you think you could do a challenge where you assign yourself a small amount of groceries and stick with that amount for the month? If I am to put my mind up to it, to say this is the challenge that I am doing, I'm pretty sure that I can do it. But my only problem is I get really frustrated eating the same food over and over again. I might resort to not eating at all. That's why I prefer experimenting with my food and making sure that I eat something different. Even with the staples, you know, with the sadza, and I want to play around with my meat and be able to differentiate meals here and there. So I think that will be my greatest challenge if I try to assign myself a small number of groceries per month. But that is a challenge I would be willing to take, because I think if I am successful in doing that, then I am able to save a little bit of cash. So I think it's something that I can definitely try out. I think it's something that I can definitely try out in the near future. And if I do try it out, you guys will know, because I'll definitely do a video about that and document it for you guys. But if I do not do that, then you definitely won't see a video coming from me about that. So yeah, thank you so much, Rumbi, for your question. You know, diapers are really killing us. Wow, diapers are the most expensive thing on my grocery list. Like, yeah. But anyways, we move. So thank you so much for your question. It's really challenged me. So when I do give it a thought to like assign myself a small number of groceries and make meals out of the small groceries that I have, I will surely document it, because wow, that would be a challenge. So let's move on to the next question. So the next question comes from, oh, this is not a question. This is just a congratulatory message, which says, it's from Adele, which says, cheers to growth, Mama. Please continue doing a great job. And Jessica also says, congratulations, beautiful. Talk more about homemaking tips. So Jessica's is not a question, but she's just suggesting that I talk more on homemaking tips. So that is something that is very broad, and I cannot just talk about one tip. I feel like going all out, but for the sake of this video, because we don't need this video to be very long, and also because I'm fighting against load shedding, so the one tip that I can give anyone who is a homemaker, or who is aspiring to be a homemaker, or who is starting out to be a homemaker like myself, what I can tell you is, stop complaining, stop grumbling, stop. You know what? The moment we start complaining and saying, I'm too tired to cook, I'm too tired to do laundry, it's a lot, I don't have a helper, then the weight almost multiplies on you, because like, you are complaining and you are letting the pain get to you, if you understand what I'm saying. What I've realized is, just live in the moment, embrace the moment that you're in, and embrace homemaking and love being a homemaker. I believe homemaking to be a calling, I believe homemaking to be a job, because you are creating, let's say you are in the kitchen and you're cooking and you have to wash dishes after. It's because you are creating a safe haven for you and your family, right? Let's say you are doing laundry. You are making sure that your family is well clothed in clean clothes. It doesn't matter what kind of home that you are staying in, whether it's rented. I always say this. It doesn't matter whether you're living in a rented apartment or you own that house. Being a homemaker lets you, what can I say, create a haven for your family. And you cannot do that while you're complaining. You cannot do that while you're complaining. So embrace it. Do your dishes, your laundry, whatever you have to do, even if you have more than one kid. Embrace the moment that you're in, because trust me, complaining leads to absolutely nothing. And do not ask me why I have a fan in my kitchen. Do not ask me why I have a fan in my kitchen, guys. The space in this apartment, the space in this apartment is like this. So sometimes we have to move stuff around, and this is where the fan found himself. So yeah, as I was saying, just as a homemaker, that's my tip to everyone out there who is a homemaker. Like, live in the moment, embrace what you do as a homemaker, It doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home mom. It doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home mom like me, you're a homemaking stay-at-home mom, and people laugh at you saying you don't have things to do. The thing about people is they think that if you automatically start being a homemaker, doesn't mean you don't have your own aspirations or you don't have your own goals that you want to chase. They think that you just want to stay at home. No. In this season, you're embracing a season, and this season will go. But for now, give it your all. Give homemaking the best that you can. So for this dish that I'm making, I'm not adding any onions, I'm not adding any spice. It's just my cabbage, my tomatoes, and my beef and salt, obviously. So I'm not adding any other thing because I know that when I add another thing, that dish doesn't come out nice and taste as good as I want it to. So I'm not going to add any of that. So let me wash my board and then we continue with other questions as I continue cooking. I'm not sure how much time I have left, if I can add salsa. I have 23 minutes, not 23, I have 33 minutes left. So let's see if I can add salsa to the list of what I can cook. At least if I cook salsa, then I know that I'll be resting up until 7, and my son also has something to eat earlier. So yeah. So let's start preparing. I already have water by the side, so it will be like really fast because salsa only requires about what, 10 minutes. So yeah, let's do that while I move on to the next question. Next one is from Shumi. Shumi asks, how do you balance the different roles that you have? And did you study food and nutrition at school or university? You are really a great cook and baker. So hold up. Alright, so Shumi, I did not study food and nutrition in university. I actually studied human resources management. But I think that question is coming from the fact that you always comment my cooking and you always say that I am a good cook. Thank you so much. But I did not study food and nutrition when I was in university. It's just that I am a person who loves cooking and who enjoys cooking. So whenever I cook, I actually put my all out to make sure that I make like the most delicious meals, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so I did not study food and nutrition. The other thing is I love experimenting with my food. So I try to learn as much as possible from other people, from YouTube, from food bloggers and all that, and try as much as possible to finesse my cooking skills, enhance them, learn from other people, take positive criticism, and it's that way that I cook those meals that you see me cooking. So if you hear my son crying on the other side, it's because he's in the living room with his dad, and I've closed my door to my kitchen because I tried shooting this video so many times, but he just wouldn't let me be. So let him deal with this dad. I am busy, please. Yeah, so thank you so much for that. But I also have some thoughts of going to the culinary school to perfect my skills to be a really good cook, if you understand what I'm saying. But for now, no, I did not study any food and nutrition at school. So it's time to add our cabbage into the pot. So let's go. So this is the same pot that has the beef and the tomatoes, and we're just adding in the cabbage to like cook for a while and waiting for our salsa to actually start. Kunonzi kukwata in Shona, but I'm not sure kuti in English what is it called, but I'm waiting kuti liqwyd so that we can actually cook our salsa. So let's go back and ask and answer another question. Oh, I almost left out the other questions. You had also asked how do you balance the different roles that you have, right? So I think by that you meant being a homemaker, being a mom, being a wife, and also being a student. So what I do is I work according to whatever needs to be done on that day. If I know that tomorrow I need to do laundry, I go to bed knowing that tomorrow is laundry day. So I wake up, I do my usual chores of the day, which are cleaning the house, feeding my baby, making breakfast. Then after that, that is where I can slot in the laundry and do my laundry and finish. And usually I do not iron on the day I do my laundry. So I know that after laundry, then I have extra time to do whatever I want, maybe catch up on my favorite shows or study. But when it comes to studying, I do not study like every day. I do not study like to say I'm studying this week from Monday to Sunday. I don't do that. I study when I feel like it, when I feel like I'm really in the mood, in the tune, in the zone to study, if you understand what I'm saying. Because if I force myself to study, trust me, I won't go anyway. I won't study much, and the information will pinda no kunebuda no in Shona. Pinda no kunebuda no information. So I do not like force myself to study. I study whenever I feel like I need to study and I'm starting to get rusty, and that's when I study. So that's how it doesn't clash with my homemaking schedule, my wife's schedule, and my motherhood schedule, because it's not something that I do every time. But I know that at the back of my head, I have a goal that I need to achieve by the end of this year. So I always make time to study, but not like every time. But when it comes to being a mom, I know that my son needs to play with me from this time to this time. But when I am now busy cooking, then that means that I have to let him play on his own while I attend to my duties. When I also need to be a wife, I need to be a wife. When I need to, I just know how to prioritize when time comes to say this time is for this time is for being a mom, this time is for being a wife, and the list goes and on and on and on. So yeah, I'm so sorry I almost left out that other question. And let's move on to the next question. This one is coming from Chantel. Thank you so much for your question, Chantel. She says, congratulations, Mrs. C. Looking forward to more of your amazing content. For Q&A, you mentioned you are doing a career change. What did you study and what are you studying now? And what was the reason for the career change? I'm also considering career change, that's why I was intrigued. Okay, girl, go get what you want. Before I respond to you, go get what you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're changing to. Go get what you want. It's never too late. So, I am a holder of a BSc honors in human resources management with Zimbabwe University. Sorry about that, my pots. So as I was saying, I am a proud holder of a BSc Bachelor of Science honors in human resources management with Zimbabwe University. I And what happens, you know what happens in universities when you have a certain type of points or threshold in points. When you have certain type of points in Zimbabwean universities, they automatically give you like a list of courses or programs to choose from, right? So I was to choose from psychology, human resources management, and journalism, but I chose human resources management because I always loved working with people, working for people, being the mediator between the people and the workers and the employer and all that. And I really loved my degree, you know. And after work, you know the situation in Zimbabwe. After work, I graduated in 2017, 2018, there was no work. I think I started working the end of 2019 or something. I don't remember the dates, but if I remember, I'll put them down on the screen. Then I started working as a recruitment consultant. I lasted for about 2 to 3 years, I think, as a recruitment consultant. I was really enjoying myself in that field. But when life happened, when I got married, when we moved to SA, I had to resign. Then during that period of me resigning, I decided, you know what? I don't think I would want to go back to corporate anymore. I don't think I would want to go back to being an HR professional anymore. I love recruitment. Let's say my mentor at that time was really good, eh? She like injected recruitment into my skin, and I've become like very obsessed with recruitment since then. See, to the fact that even today, if you give me an assignment, I will deliver, if you understand what I'm saying. So I just realized I don't want to go back to that field anymore, and I decided to change to something more creative, more in the tech world, more okay. I want to go into graphic design. That is where I want to be. I love creating graphics. From working with Canva a lot for my YouTube channel and for my Instagram, I realized I actually have a passion for designing. So I want to pursue it on a more professional level. So I'm studying towards graphic design, and hopefully by the end of this year I would have achieved that. Fingers crossed. So my battery is on 5%. Which is really a bummer. So I'm not sure if I'm going to charge it up real quick then come back, or actually look for a charger close by and charge it while we are recording or what. Yeah, but anyways, until that is my story. I decided to move into the tech world, and maybe because my husband has influenced me somehow, because he is in the tech world but he is in the more complicated type of tech. But I just want to join being a graphic designer and see how it goes, because I really see that it brings out another side of me that I never thought I had when I design things. So I want to move into graphic designing. So I hope that you are answered. I studied HR, but I want to move into graphic design. These are like completely different worlds. So let me try and charge my phone and come back real quick. So I found a solution to my phone. So as I was saying, Chantal, sometimes life leads you through a different path, and you actually start to rethink some of the areas of your life, especially your career. You wouldn't want to continue with something that you wouldn't enjoy, you know, because I know that if I go back to corporate now, I wouldn't enjoy it because my mind is somewhere. So that's all I can tell you. Go after what you want. It's never too late. So Blessing says, congratulations, sister. You deserve even more. Thank you, Blah Blah. Thank you so much. Thank you, baby girl. Then Rumbi commented and said, how did I miss this? Only way is up, mama. Thank you, baby girl. So yeah, I think we're going on to our last set of questions, and we will be done for this video while my pots are cooking. So our last set of questions comes from Adele. She had a lot of questions for me, guys. She says, how did you and her baby meet? So I feel like this would be a perfect story time for another day, but because you asked my girl. Alright, so me and Habi, we met, I think, 13 to 14 years ago. What am I saying? We met in 2009. So that's how many years from now? We met in 2009, and we met at church. So let me tell you what happened. So I was the secretary for my guild. I'm Catholic, by the way. So at our church, there are youth guilds where you are affiliated to different youth guilds. So there was CYA, there was Moyom Sunday, there was Agnes and Alois. I was an Agnes and Alois girl, and I was the secretary for my guild. And I remember I was a very small baby in 2009. I was like a very small baby. I was in form 3, I guess, 2009. I don't remember, but I was in junior school. So I was also a secretary, and I went for this meeting at church. We had a guild meeting at church, which started around 4-5-ish. So I went there, and I was busy taking my minutes, not knowing that someone is busy watching me and someone has taken interest in me. So according to him, his version of the story is he saw me on the table, like on the meeting. He was not part of the executive, by the way. He was not part of the executive. So he had just come accompanying his friend, and he was sitting far away from where the meeting was taking place. So he saw me, and he says he was smitten. So the meeting went on and on and on, but I could see that this gentleman over there is just staring at me. By those days, he wore like flat breast caps, like he was really a bowler those days. And I just said, this guy keeps looking at me. Why does the guy keep looking at me? And he says, well, he was spitting. So yeah, we had our meeting and time to go home. It was around 7 p.m. And you know, it's not safe to let a girl travel, like go home alone at night. Right, it's not safe. So the mother advisor said, we need a volunteer to take Melody home. And he volunteered. He volunteered. What else could he do when he was spitted by this beauty? What else could he do? But anyways, he volunteered to take me home. And while taking me home, he decided to tell me how he felt. Like, I like you. And me being a baby that I was at that time, I said, give me time to think. I need to think. I need to think. And I disappeared for 2 weeks. Do you think nigga waited for me? No, he moved on. Apparently he moved on. So when I came back to church, I heard that he was dating so and so, and I said, okay, cool. But me, I liked the guy, but I was not straight enough to say I like you too, you see. But then he kept making advances. Once he saw that I was back at church, he kept making advances, and I kept turning him down, kept making advances, and he went to school, he went to university, and I kept turning him down. I think I actually gave him a definite yes after 1 year. That's when I said yes, we can date, we can be a couple and all that after 1 year. Yeah, so that's how we met. We met at church. I was the secretary, he was just another guy in my guild. Yeah, so that's how we met. And we dated for 10 years actually, on and off. But for the past 6 years, that's where we have been consistent until we got married. But we dated for 10 years, on and off. I was so childish back then, and any little thing I would say, boy, bye. And you cannot do that to me. You cannot do that to me. But anyways, that answers your first question. Your second question is, how long have you been married? Oh, we are fairly new to this marriage thing now. We've been married for 1 year, 8 months. We got married in 2022. We had our lobola and wedding on the same day. So yeah, we've been married for 1 year, 8 months. We are still young and going. So I hope that answers your question. How do you plan your daily schedule and manage to be productive in all areas, e.g. being a mom, a wife, a homemaker, and a student? As I said earlier when I was responding to Shumi, I have a routine that I stick to every day, that I wake up, I clean the house, I feed my son, I make breakfast, I clean maybe the dishes, then it's time for me to sit and relax myself. And if I have laundry, then I'm going to do laundry. If I have any other thing, maybe I need to go out on that day to do grocery shopping, then I already know the day prior that I need to go out for groceries. So that is how I plan my days. And in terms of studying, I do not study any day. I study whenever I feel like. Today I need to study because it's been long since I studied, so I need to catch up on my studies. So that's how I do it. But in terms of being a mom, being a wife, and being a homemaker, I just do this according to priority and according to my routine. It's my routine to wake up, to clean the house, to cook breakfast, to feed my son, to bath him, to yada yada yada. And if I have any other thing that I need to fit into the schedule, I know the day prior that tomorrow is laundry day, so I need to take all my laundry tomorrow. I do not just add things randomly because I know that way I get tired. So I take time to plan before how my schedule will be. If my routine is going to be the simple everyday routine, or if something else is going to be added onto that routine, that's how I manage it. At least for now that I have only one baby, at least for now it's still manageable. I have time, lots of time to do whatever I want. But I'm not sure if it's going to change later on, or if ever I'm going to get help. But for now, that's how I manage my schedule. That's how I do it, Adele. And I have 10 minutes only to make sure that my salsa is ready. So I think I'm going to rush this up and finish up. What is the first thing you would do if you become a millionaire today? I would get rid of the black tax. Black tax is killing us, guys. Black tax, having to take care of people back home, that is killing us. I kid you not. That's the first thing that I have to do. Then secondly, maybe we invest in a tent as a family because we need a place of our own. And then after that, obviously there are businesses that we need to start. We need side hustles that bring good money, so we would invest in that also. And the rest of it, we will always find something to do with it. It's $1 million to cry about, so we always find something to do with the rest of it. What are your fears in life? My fears in life are dying. Me dying. I fear me dying a lot. I always imagine what people would do if I die, and I don't like to think about it. How people would feel, how my son would feel, how my husband, how my parents, how people around me would feel. And I also am afraid of losing people around me, how I would feel if they were to pass on, how I would feel when my loved ones were to pass on. Those are my worst fears in life. I don't want to ever think about it, though I always think about it because it's something that scares me up to that point where I always imagine what would happen if I am in that scenario. So I just hope that I am not that person who like collapses or anything, because I am so afraid of that. So yeah, that is my worst fear, like being left alone by my loved one and knowing that they're never going to come back. That scares me a lot. And your other question was, what makes you happy? What makes me happy is being alone, having me time, having not being alone, but being me, my husband, and my son. I'm content. I'm the happiest I can be. Not that I don't like visitors, but yeah, come and you see us and you go. Not that I don't like people, but I just like being in my own bubble. I like being in my own bubble, being free in my own space, not having to worry about what the other person is thinking. Let me tell you one thing. People freak the hell out. People freak me out. Like, I have to think twice, thrice whenever I have to go out or step out or even to do groceries, to say, what are people thinking about me? I am the person who is the most uncomfortable around people. That is why I grew up not going out a lot. Not because I didn't like going out. No, I did not like meeting people when I go out. So I prefer being in my own bubble, dealing with my own affairs, with my own little family. If I'm watching a Korean drama all day, then that's me. I'm content with it. If I'm catching up on a certain series, that's me. Because I don't like being in a space where people are like looking at me. I start imagining what people are thinking about me, if you understand what I'm saying. What are they thinking about me like? So yeah, that makes me happy, being in my own bubble. It surprises me how I am able to do a YouTube channel with that kind of a perception, to say I don't like people. Maybe it's because I know that this is not real. Like, you get to see me after I filmed this video already, not like in reality, face to face. It will take a lot of time for me to get out of this shell. So now I'm just cooking my salad. That's why you hear that sound. So guys, thank you so much for asking your questions on this beautiful day. This video goes up tomorrow. Today is a Thursday, so it goes up tomorrow, so I need time to also edit it. But thank you so much guys for keeping me company while I cook. I hope you're motivated to also start cooking, because I'm done. Baby girl is done. So thank you so much for your questions. Thank you for helping your girl reach 500 subscribers. We are now officially on the road to 600 subscribers, and it can only happen if you guys help. I'm now on my tippy toes because my stove is way up. So I don't know if you guys notice what I do with my mouth. I have this very unattractive serious face that I do whenever I'm trying to concentrate on something, and it makes me cringe sometimes when I'm editing my videos, to say this is what I was doing with my face. But anyways, yeah, that's just me. I always have been like that ever since I've been small, so you guys have to get used to it. So as I was saying, thank you so much for for being my loyal royalty. Continue watching my videos, continue supporting, because you are the people that always are supporting and cheering me on in this YouTube journey. Without you, I would have given up way back. I will see you in the next one. I really hope that you enjoyed this Q&A session. Let me show you how my meal looks in a couple of minutes. So from me to you, love and light, let's continue making our home sweet for royalty. Bye!
And this is the meal. I am so happy with the turnout, exactly how I wanted my cabbage to be. Looks so good, and it also tasted so good, and my salsa on the side. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.